All right. I think we're actually in recording mode. You can go ahead and say good morning. And who are you?
Good morning. I'm Arif Mirage, CEO of Kite Communications.
And this is our amateur video. I know it seems a little gaudy, but guess what? We have to start from the ground up. Arif is going to take the camera, and I'm going to give you an idea how this thing got started. That was a selfie. Yeah, it's already on there if it's wanted or anything.
Okay.
Good morning. It happens to be 9/9/15. In Jamaica, they do the day first and then the month. But being that it's 9/9, there's nothing to have to change. I appreciate that. I wanted to sit down and take a serious chat at how Kite was started. Serious company built on some more relaxed morals, but definitely aggressive about how we're going to do business. Kite was created in my head conceptually in December of 2010. I contacted a company by the name of Claro and Lime, which those names no longer exist or are being integrated. Didn't contact another company, a predominant company. I won't mention their name, but it starts with a D. I think I can get away with that. I didn't contact them because they already were on top of the food chain. I contacted the other two, and they ignored what we decided to do here today. The company was then researched, and I decided to make a different way to communicate in Jamaica. This is the home base for me, so this is where the company started. Jamaica doesn't have a one-rate plan. Most countries in the free world, in free society, you see people constantly on their phones. Here in Jamaica, there's not even the time to say goodbye. People will call you, where are you? At such and such, click, without any courtesy. I found that that was not something I wanted for my homeland. I hear a lot of people say that Jamaica is full of corruption and crime. Where isn't? I know that a good company that does good business will have good results, no matter where you are. Somebody has to clean it up, and we decided to do that. The reason I say we is it's no longer a one-man band. We then evolved into designing a phone called the U-Chat. That was the first generation. I had a partner named Scott, Scott Thompson. He decided he wanted to take the company further and build tablets, and I came up with a TV device and a MP3 device that we're going to implement in the future. During that time, there's some gaps there, but during the time the company was in research and development, we got in contact with a company in the United States named Armor Core. Armor Core was the first designer of our phones. It was an extremely expensive and lofty endeavor, but it proved that the concept that was here can be legitimized there. After we found out it could be done, I got in contact with a few friends in Arizona and San Diego, and they started building the phones. Chip by chip, we failed until we found out what the problem was. There's a few big companies that are starting to become involved here, but due to some contractual hopes and endeavors, I leave them void of this conversation. But there are Fortune 500 companies. I did contact many, and most, like most companies do, ignored any type of contact. During that prospect, I ran across a gentleman by the name of Arif, who I call my partner, because he is. We met under some pretty strange circumstances. Our first meeting was was off of airport property. I seen the gentleman. I didn't care too much for him. He was giving me something. It was a joint venture. And the reason why this is important is because my first partner, Scott, is married to my ex-wife. I didn't look at the ego. I looked at the fact that my son is being raised by this man. And they value each other, so I valued him. Arif, on the other hand, we came from the crucible of fire. Greed and deception probably would have done us well monetary value-wise, but instead we chose the higher route. We spoke to each other independently of a group that wanted to do some scrupulous things behind both our backs. It was a matter of give this one this, give that one that. Whoever reaches first gets the carrot. We spoke and we decided to come together, and basically we left what could have been a monetarily lucrative adventure and said no, and decided we're going to be stubborn about it and take our own route. After careful consideration, myself and Scott, primarily me, decided that Arif should be president and CEO of Kite. The reason being is I just like him, and he fits the mold of what I think this company should be. And once that was sold, he fits the mold of what we think the company should be. A few times I've spoken to Arif and he said, thank you for the opportunity. And I said, no, we're partners. So we thank each other, and the employees will thank us for their opportunity. I'm a person who thinks that, and so does Arif, and so does Scott, that this company, besides building phones, and besides having people who will speak with one rate, $1,000 a month. And let me first reiterate this. That's guaranteed for the first 3 years. And after those 3 years, we will not go up more than 10% if necessary. But I don't even see an increase. I foresee a decrease. Because if we have a sustained rate, basically if we negotiate as managers, CEOs, and primarily people invested in the company, we will lower the rate on how we use. If we in turn diversify, go to different markets, we're going to have more people using our products. So why would we run up our rates when we're making more profit? I believe that the approach should be better business, turn that to the people. None of our investors will be looking at getting rich off the company while our employees die, or their investment will be bought back. All right. There are some contracts that's right now in place that we're working out. There's a few investors. That's where we're at. We're cash poor. We're hope generated but cash poor. But that's about to change, and not by my great hope or great vision, because we're starting to get traction. That's what a company does. It puts its wheels down and it tries to dig in. It's been many years. I've been asked many times, what's going on with your phone company? Well, we're not a phone company. We're a little bit more than that. Something I tend to have forgotten. Way back when I first started Kite, I designed a gas regulator. In most third world countries, they use gas regulators that tell you when your gas is empty or full. I abandoned that to focus more on Kite. I could have stuck with that, made some split heads, and went around the Caribbean and sold them, and maybe made a couple dollars and live a pretty good life. But I'm a person who's built on the dream. I'm a dreamer, and I support my dream. And in the end, it could be rags to riches, but if I get to the riches, there'll be no more rags. Arif will run the company, with an iron fist to anyone outside the door. But inside, he will hold you like an egg. All right? So we'll have feathers indoors and an iron fist for those outside. And that's our approach with business. I perceive that we'll have a little bit more amateur videos in the future, but Kite is phone company, internet provider, service provider, something that you may not know, R&D in Jamaica. We have the skills here, and the primary existence for Kite is to create work here. If it happens to trickle abroad, good luck and God bless us. But I want people in Jamaica, my people, your people, because we're all people, to have work. And in any depressive nation, I want them to have work. And the more I do, the more will get done. And when I say I do, I mean is we do. So, Arif, go ahead and cut that. Hit the red button, and we'll say au revoir, but we'll have more.